They say wise men speak because they have something to say.
Yeah, they also say fools speak because they have to say something.
Well,
here we are.
Yeah, you bit that one.
Well.
Relax. All right. Welcome back to another episode of The Gambler and the Guardian. I am Nathan, also known as The Guardian.
And I'm Anthony. I'm known as The Gambler. Yeah, man. We're back at it.
Yep.
Haven't stopped.
Yep.
You know, I'm feeling a little sense of being more comfortable.
Every time it gets a little bit more comfortable, a little bit easier.
Yeah, man.
Just trying to figure it out. Just happy to have everybody here with us.
Yeah.
Figure it out with us.
Yeah, this is it's becoming more fun every time we do it. Building our relationship. I'm learning so more about what's going on as you know, as you're sending me all these different, articles and videos to look at. I'm not really hip with all the stuff that's going on. You know, you'll talk about it and then I'll be like, no, I haven't seen that. And you're like, bro, how can...
There's so much stuff going on. And as we do this, we're like playing with different types of topics and different types of content just to see where we're comfortable, what we like to do, and, how our people react to us. And, we're going to shift some gears sometimes,
Yeah, there's definitely been a variety of what we've spoken about.
Most certainly.
And that's what's kept it interesting and fun. And even this last one where we talked about relationship advice when I'm not in a relationship, it's kind of like...
Yeah, but you've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there. You have your experiences, and, all those insights are important from all aspects. But today it's gonna be a variety show today.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun today. So, you ready to jump in?
Jump right into it.
All right. So, Georgia man orders a drill and gets a photo of a drill instead.
Yeah, man, this is cold-blooded, man. I saw this on there. This guy ordered a drill that, he ordered a set, you get the drill and a few batteries, a couple chargers, and the whole nine. And I clicked on it, and it was literally this older brother sitting there like this with his drill. It was like a piece of paper with a picture of it. So it's yeah, man, we got to be real careful. How do you navigate that? He ordered it from AliExpress, right? It's I don't know what the difference is between Alibaba, AliExpress, Temu, or any. Hey, to be honest, I'm frightened to order from any of them. I've never even made a purchase on eBay, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never even made a purchase on eBay.
Actually,
brother.
eBay is pretty legit.
Yeah, but you can't go into it with that mind state either. You gotta know that. You gotta look at every seller. You gotta look every seller though. Every seller has a rating.
Yes.
That's what's important when you're buying on eBay.
Yeah, but eBay also, depending on what you're buying, right? I've looked at gold chains on there, right?
Oh, no.
Everything gets verified. So part of the process is the money goes into eBay. They hold it. They get the product. Then they look at the product. They told me the chain that I was looking at, which I thought it was 63 grams, it came out and it was 57 grams or something. So not that much difference, but...
Whoa. Say that again?
Yeah, so I thought it was 63 grams. It came out and it was 57.
That's quite significant when it comes to gold, brother.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
But when you're on the purchasing side of the retail market, it all comes down. They're selling it so much higher than the raw weight of gold anyway. So it comes down to a number that you're willing to pay for the chain, right? But for me, it was they didn't come down on the number enough. And I looked at it and it was this is a bait and switch, which is similar to what this guy in Georgia.
Did him dirty, bro.
Yeah. So I turned it down and said, nah. In the end, gold price went up and the chain that I would have got would have been a good deal compared to if I was going to go get that chain now.
Well, let's just listen to his story.
Okay. So the title of this is from Soap Central. Thank you, Soap Central. Oldest scam in the book. Internet in splits as Georgia man orders a drill from AliExpress and reportedly gets a photo of the product instead. AliExpress is regarded as one of the most popular e-commerce platforms. Consider this scenario. One fine morning, you might experience the adrenaline rush of building a wall-mounted bookshelf. You decide to purchase a drill machine online, and you find a platform that is selling one at an affordable price. Equipment being delivered to your doorstep at a cheap price is quite a deal, right? This incident about a Georgia man receiving a picture of the drill instead of the product can make you reconsider your decision.
Look at this picture, bro. Look at this.
Yeah, this is the picture. So this is what he got.
Now,
right?
I heard him talk about it. It was sad, bro.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't hear all that.
But you got to be realistic about things sometimes too, though. It's like, bro, if you buy that drill in the store, it's gonna be like $200, bro. You're gonna get this drill and 2 batteries and a charger and all this extra stuff for $40. You gotta be like, you have to be realistic and not be naive. Like, you have to not want something more than what is realistic.
Yeah, there's this old saying goes, is it too good to be true?
Yeah.
Sounds like it's too good to be true. If you're going to get something for 20% of the cost.
I feel like that's like the game, bro, where they're like shuffling the, what's this called? Five card Monty? No, what's it called? That one?
I don't even know.
You know where they got the card and the.
I do.
That's what it would look like.
I got a story about that.
These cats be shuffling, boy.
Yeah, they do. They do. So a man from Savannah, Georgia, Sylvester Franklin, orders some tools on AliExpress for $40. The purchase items were a drill and a $22 pressure washer. He was taken aback by what he received. Instead of a pressure washer, he got a screw and a picture of the drill instead of an actual tool. He's claimed that he is still trying to get a refund from the company, but no action has been taken in his case. Sylvester Franklin said, "This is not good. This is real bad."
I would have paid money to be a fly on the wall in his house when he opened the box.
Hey.
You know, he was so mad, bro. I would have just died to see him, bro.
Oh, man. He was probably pissed. I've ordered something from Temu, which I will never use again, but it came out and it was like this big instead of...
But they say that, from what I understand, they have an outstanding exchange policy, Temu. I know somebody that buys from him all the time. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I know somebody that he's like... Yeah, they go ham on Temu.
I just can't get over the fact that when you enter into the site, there's the spinning thing.
Oh, every time, brother.
And it's
every
like,
time.
oh, so I'm going to get
80% off.
80% off. Oh, this is a good deal. And then how it packages it all up, it just feels so scammy.
Nah, it's because of people like you, though, on some real stuff. Like, I be flirting with Temu. I really considered buying stuff, but because of people like you, we coming out here with your little stories. Like, I see something that, like, I'm looking for something specific to see if it's, like, does Temu possibly have it, right? I look on it. It's there. It looks real.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, damn, it's not sitting next to anything. I'm like, I can't compare it in scale. I don't know how big it is for real. Like, I think I'm going to get, like, a scuba tank this big or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You will. So to finish off his quote, Sylvester Franklin said, "This is not good. This is really bad. All this is bad. You know what I mean? Don't scam nobody. I don't like to get scammed because you spend your money, you want to get what you pay for." I mean, I totally agree with Sylvester, man. But
keep it real, Sylvester. Like, you sound like a cheapskate, brother.
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely.
You ain't even
gullible.
like you outside of the scope of reality when it comes to purchases. It sounds like, brother. You be careful out there. Sylvester.
Yeah, he's going for the good deals.
If you a frugal person, like, look. So let me just say this. I am like I'm like the ultimate consumer.
Yeah, you are.
I'm an impulse buyer. Mm-hmm. I know everything about, like, what's needed to keep a person like myself in the store. And what else I know about myself through cars is this. I'm always willing to pay more money than something is worth to get it right now than I will pay the regular price to have to wait for it to come.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that's like that. So if you're like me, there's like an extreme opposite. Or if you're a person that's extremely on the frugal side, you have to be very careful and like consider yourself and who you are
Well,
when you get yourself into these things.
yeah, so perfect example of this. I go with my daughter. We're looking for new Bibles to start studying together. And so now I was looking at Amazon, found some, but you can't hold it, you can't touch, you can't open the pages, you can't see how
Y'all need to
it
y'all
feels,
need to go
right?
to Barnes and Noble, brother.
So that's what we do. We went right down to Barnes and Noble. Sure enough, like, oh, I like this one, Dad. I'm like, yeah, that one's awesome. In fact, I found a new one that I was like, oh, this is pretty cool myself.
I'm afraid of this, like that the books is gonna die out after our generation. Like I feel like books are not gonna be. I feel like books are going away little by little.
Keep interrupting me as I'm doing my.
I'm sorry.
So finally, I say, all right, Bella, well, how much is that? Oh, $50. Oh, mine's $50. Well, let's just look on Amazon and see how much it is. Pull it up on Amazon. $19.99. Same book. There's got to be something different. So we go in. There's a cover that goes on it. Well, if you buy it at Barnes & Noble, you get the cover, but is that cover a $30 cover compared to just getting the Bible itself? So we chose to say, thanks, Barnes & Noble, for letting us come out here, touch, feel, figure out which one we wanted, but it'll be at our doorstep tomorrow from Amazon. And instead, I could buy 5 of them instead of just 2. So that was our choice, right?
That's very interesting. Yeah, that is how something like when you buy a book, right? You got the soft cover, you got the hard cover, you got the covered book. But like again, like I think my mind is in random places today. You get me thinking about these books. Do kids even use book covers anymore?
Oh, I don't think so. I've never seen my daughter pull out a brown paper bag
and make a
cut
book,
it,
right.
make a book
This
cover.
kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like it just strikes me like that was like for what reason did we for preservation, right? Preserve the book, right? To make it last longer. I just feel like as time is going by, like the books is going out little by little. I'm wondering if we're gonna be able to preserve all of this stuff, man.
I think you're definitely hitting on a valid point. There's pressure for it all to be online. So now you have Audible where you listen to it. You have the Kindle where you go through and you read the book. You purchase the book, but it's a digital copy, right? So that takes away from a hard copy of a book, right? You can still get hard copies, but I'm sure it's, that market is divided between people that don't take a hard copy and others that do.
I feel like the accessibility of the information, right, that you can look up specific information that you need when you need it, I feel like it may take away from the desire to go in depth as you would when reading a book. I feel like that's something over time that is going to have an effect on the masses, like because humans work in like a funny way, which is want, need, and then have to.
Yeah.
So a lot of people care a lot about conveniences.
For sure.
So it's like I don't see it going in a good direction. Like I feel like later on in time, like I feel like the knowledge is gonna be diluted.
Oh, it's constantly being diluted. It's part of a big master plan that's happening where certain books you cannot get anymore. It's private stock, because what was written in them, they don't want to have it out there in the public anymore. We could go down this rabbit hole, or we could talk about this show performer as a mermaid that almost got eaten in an aquarium tank.
That is a very interesting one. I've never seen a sturgeon bite a person before. I don't know them to be fish that would do that. They are bottom They're bottom
They're
feeders.
bottom feeder, yeah.
They eat a lot of stuff out of the mud, primarily. So that fish even did that. Must have been bored. But also, it's in captivity, right? Like,
Yeah, so this is what happened. There's mermaid that's hanging in a fish tank. There's fish swimming around. Of some of the fish is a giant sturgeon, right? The show performer dressed as a mermaid learned the hard way recently that sharing an aquarium tank with an enormous sturgeon is not safe. So there's a video that goes along with this too that we'll show you. It was captured in China. Shows the mermaid performing gracefully in front of the audience that included children when the sturgeon briefly sucked her head into his mouth. The woman, clearly startled but remaining somewhat graceful, ascended without further incident.
yeah, I'm certain for that quick second that she was suffocating, that it seemed like an eternity, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And when you watch a video, for me, it was like this thing where she's like, "Oh, get this thing off my head," and then it worked, which is crazy. So let's watch this video. Here we go.
I don't think it was trying to hold her, though. It just was like you know, like a little, like a warning shot or
She
something.
didn't taste good, bro.
Yeah, right.
He took a chunk and was like,
Get it out of here.
ugh,
Trash.
hot toy.
Oh,
Right.
not the Hatui.
22-year-old mermaid Masha was performing for families visiting the Xishuangbanna Primitive Forest Park.
Yeah, it's graceful, man.
The fish latched onto Masha's face.
You see his mouth? It just went out there.
Yeah,
Damn.
they just.
The giant creature ate Masha's goggles and nose clips.
Oh, got her nose clip and goggles.
The woman was allegedly forced back into the aquarium despite being in
What country was this in?
It was in China. She got $96 for moral damages.
as her bosses tried to cover up the incident. Masha's magical show ended in pain.
Masha. Looks like she's Russian. She's over there and trying to be in a mermaid.
Yeah.
They're like, we need a different color mermaid over here. So they brought in Masha. Masha got chopped by a sturgeon.
Yeah.
Masha was like, I'm good. They were like, nah, Masha, you go get your ass back in that water today.
Yeah. Here's $96.
Can Masha even buy goggles and the nose plugs with that?
Oh, good call.
Damn.
You know,
Y'all ain't shit over there.
so these mermaid shows, Masha needs to go to Wiki Wachi in Florida, outside of Tampa, man.
Bro, why do you know what that is, brother? What is that?
Oh, this is one of the coolest places on the planet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. So I went there with my daughter. We went paddle boarding down Wiki Wachi, where, you know, there is what are the sea cows? Manatees in the water swimming. We're on the paddle boards, and then they have this. It's you know stream, crystal clear water, extremely cold, and it's fresh water, but it merges. It becomes brackish.
Yeah, that's brackish.
Yeah.
Where the fresh meets the salt.
And then in the public area, because it's also a water park. You know, we did the tour thing on the paddle boards, but they have the water park. They have a whole mermaid show. I think Masha needs to hit them up. She's got a story. She could go work at Wiki Wachi.
Bro, the only place I've ever seen a mermaid was in I forget what part of Montana. It's in Montana, bro. They got this like weird little bar. What's the capital of Montana?
Helena.
It's not there. It's in the city.
Bozeman.
No, that's country, brother. That's where the Indians are.
I'm just shooting out names of Montana, bro.
But there's this little bar, dude, like a hotel, like small hotel with a bar, and like behind the bar is this big ass window, and there's like a mermaid in the bar. Like in this place, like, what the hell is this?
Bro, I'll take you right here in Sacramento. We'll go. Place is literally called Dive Bar, and they got mermaids chilling right there.
What is the appeal?
I mean, mermaids are the age-old sensual kind of being. It's like if you were a sailor and you're out there on a ship and you're looking out and all you got is dudes around you, you're wishing a mermaid would show up.
I don't know, brother.
I'm sure there's more to it.
That's a lot. That's a lot to think about.
So we'll switch it up here. This one, it's
Oh yeah,
it's a little different.
The guy's a scumbucket.
Yeah.
So this guy, I guess some people.
Oh, dude.
So
What a dick.
Oh, hey man. So what's happening here?
He like looked to see if the damage was good enough to be like, okay.
He does it 4 times, right? I'm just saying. So me, I'm a car guy. I might have went to jail over this shit. Like, oh, so this cop is just opening the door in the garage, and it just keeps smacking the door of this person's car, and repeatedly doing it intentionally. Man, this is just, come on, man. What an abuse, man.
Yeah. So if he was trying to like get away with it, he would have just had the initial one where he walked out and
He
it
just
hit
should
it.
have flew the door open hard one time.
I think I think it's obvious that he didn't know the car was that close to the door at the beginning, or else he would have just flung it open hella fast and been like, "Oh, my bad."
Hey, nah. So he opened it and it hit it, and he was like, "Word."
That's what he did.
Hey, hold on. Hey,
That's
hold on,
what he
hold on,
did.
Hold on.
So I mean, what was this dude doing in the garage anyway?
He was up in somebody's stuff, searching it. I don't know if Warren or not. They was in there. I don't see anybody complaining about him being in there. But yeah, this is definitely, I'm sure, going to be a problem for him.
This is definitely
It's not like back in the day where you get a
it's
write-up.
a moral character type thing.
Oh, a character flaw for certain.
Yeah, this guy.
Now he's not a good guy. He's not a good person.
This is not a good guy.
Like, so that's like the thing where, if somebody will do something small, they're gonna do something big when nobody's looking, right? That's what's integrity, right? Integrity, it means like what you're gonna do when no one is looking.
Yes.
That you're gonna still do the right thing. And that guy clearly does not have integrity.
No, he clearly does not.
Low morals and standards on that fellow.
Yeah, hey, use some of your words. He's out of there.
He out of there. Get him out of there. Oh,
So
go ahead.
This one, it's from the Irish Star. This is in Mississippi.
So I'm sorry. Before you start
What?
this story, just for anybody, wherever you live at, we live in California. It's the most liberal state in the union. We often complain about stuff, but like,
Yeah.
we have it really good here. That's the truth. Before you think about complaining about the politics where you live, and before you think about not being grateful about your circumstances, listen to this.
All right. So, U.S. Senator introduces bill to ban men from masturbating.
Hey, yo.
And everyone says same thing. So a Mississippi senator shocked residents last week as he proposed a satirical new bill that would bizarrely see men fined for masturbating. It has left everyone wondering how it could possibly be enforced. It was last Monday, January 20th, that Mississippi State Senator Bradford Blackman
Why he had to be a black man?
made the unusual move to propose that it should be made unlawful within the state for men to masturbate in any other sexual relations that are involved discharging genetic material without the express intention of fertilizing a human egg.
You ain't gonna put that stuff out there without no egg, brother. Ain't no egg, ain't no shooting, ain't no busting shots.
So he says it's going to be illegal once this bill goes through to release your load if it ain't fertilizing a human egg.
Stop that. You're wasting it.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's
y'all
it.
get out of here.
So he goes, meanwhile, the bill, which has been called the Contraception Begins at Erection Act,
You continue.
Let me say that again
Y'all
for you,
sick,
Nate.
boy.
Contraception begins at Erection Act would still need to make its way past Republican Governor Tate Reeves for it to become set in law. It has left many wondering how such rules could ever be enforced by those in power.
You know how they do it? They like to hit you where it hurts. In your pocketbook.
Yeah, well, check this out. If the habit is made unlawful, it's proposed that those that do it, what does it say?
I'm sorry, where are we here?
Man, I'm having trouble reading because there's a dash in there.
Those intended to do
Contravention of the bill would be handed fines that would start at $1,000 for the first offense, $5,000 for the second, and $10,000 for any offenses after that. However, men who use contraception and those intended to donate to sperm banks would be exempt
Wait a
under
second.
new proposals.
Can you help me understand this? However, men who use contraception,
Yeah.
how does this apply? So, am I interpreting this the wrong way? That if you squeeze off into a contraceptive, you're exempt?
That's what he's saying.
But
Yeah.
if you shoot it into anything else that doesn't have an egg, at minimum, it's going to cost you $1,000 a pop. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, man. You guys get Senator Blackmon out of there.
Yeah, this is a funny one, man. This is a funny one. Senator Blackmon said the satirical move was in response to Mississippi state law banning women from having abortions, with the only exemptions being to save the mother's life or if the pregnancy resulted from rape.
Oh, that's deep. I ain't even trying to get into none of that, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm with you. In a statement, Senator said how the law was aimed at addressing a gender imbalance all across the country, especially here in Mississippi. The vast majority of bills related to contraception and or abortion focus on women's role when men are 50% of the equation. He added the bills highlights that fact and brings the man's role into the conversation. People get up in arms and call it absurd, but I can't say that bothers me. If the bills pass, it would become effective July this year.
Listen, brother.
But commentators think it's unlikely to pass.
We'll leave it up to our audience to discuss anything surrounding this.
But how would they enforce
1,000 to
it?
10,000 a pop to me sounds absolutely insane.
How would they enforce it? How would they know that you did
I
what
don't know,
you
but
did?
you got to think about there's people who are like, it's just hypothetically, this will never happen. But hypothetically, if it did though, there's like people who are just like bugged out, scared, law-abiding citizens.
Oh, that's why he's doing it.
I ain't got a band. I ain't got no extra band laying around. I'm just gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
Hell to the nah, brother.
man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
shout out Mississippi. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, I'm about to call the Mississippi buddy I got something to talk to him about. I would imagine he's not going to like this law.
That's wild, brother. That's wild.
All right, here. All right, this next one, this is a good one.
Lucky little bastard.
Yeah, so the Independent, thank you, Independent, for coming up with this article here. Antiques collectors, $50 garage sale purchase may be a Van Gogh worth $15 million. There it is right there.
And I drive my lady crazy with that shit. So where I live, there's a lot of estate sales. For those of you who do not know what an estate sale is, you know, when elders are passing on, crossing over to the next realm, and they have, you know, something somewhat substantial, they have an estate. So they basically sell all of their stuff. And like, dude, I've come up in these estate sales like,
yeah, it's usually a really good deal, right?
yeah, but the problem is, it's like you always think it's a good deal. You really like, unless you're like a collector.
That you know.
And that's my problem. My problem is I am a collector of some things. The things that I know very well, I do.
Yeah.
but I like try to dabble in other types of collecting that I'm not nearly as knowledgeable on. And I'm like cutting through with these sales, and I'm like, ooh, look at that right there. How much is that?
Yeah.
$25. That's it, babe. It's only $25. She's just looking at me like, yo, here we go again. And but sometimes it pans out, and things like this happen. It is rare for certain, but you don't know what the people have in their house, man. People have been everywhere, and things are shuffling around. People give people things as gifts, a lot of different stuff around. You don't never know what's in someone's house, man.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends in Florida that they buy all their stuff from estate sales. But what ends up happening is they got a garage full of all the stuff. They got a storage unit.
They start hoarding.
And they're like, "Oh, I got this. And
Bro,
yeah,
you can't
they
even
might have
find,
got
you
it
can't
for a
find
deal.
not one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not using them.
Yeah, yeah.
But definitely these estate sales got something to be had.
But this picture is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
This specific one.
yeah.
I believe it's called The Fisherman. No, A Fisherman. It's a fisherman wearing a hat.
Yeah, it's a painting of a fisherman.
But it has the, what do you call, the essence of a Van Gogh painting, if you look at it.
For sure. Yeah. So essentially it sold for $50 at a garage sale, could be worth $15 million. Canvas was found by an unsuspecting antiques collector at a Minnesota garage sale in 2016, and now historians, scientists, and curators have teamed up to prove that it is an oil painting by the Dutch artist.
Damn.
So the painting bears a resemblance to Van Gogh's work and depicts a fisherman smoking a pipe as he tends to his net on an empty beach. Experts have called the painting Elamar because the name is etched into the lower right-hand corner of the canvas. I don't know. Elamar might be the
artist.
Yeah, exactly. An exhaustive multi-year investigation of the painting by experts in several fields has yielded the evidence required to identify Elamar as an autograph work by the artist's New York art research firm LMI Group International, which acquired the painting from the antiques collector, declared its 450-page report. The group's findings will be shared with the Van Gogh specialists and the art dealers around the world. Okay, so what's up? Is this thing real or not?
Right.
They argue that the portrait was painted while Van Gogh was in the St. Paul Asylum in France's Saint Remy de Provence between May 1889 and May 1890. Elamar is clearly based upon a painting by the Danish artist Michael Anker, the report said. Van Gogh did not copy but translated Anker's work. Oh. Experts said the portrait also represents a time in the artist's life when he was returning to themes and images from his youth. Well, that's interesting. I guess you never know. You could get lucky.
Yeah. If somebody was like, yo, that might be a Van Gogh worth $15 million, I'll be like, I'll give it to you for $5 right now.
Yeah. Let me get a quick sale.
Get it off.
And move forward. So this next one comes from Soap Central again.
Yeah, I found this one to be very interesting. China has been playing with some type of artificial sun.
Yeah, artificial sun.
Yes, I don't.
Like their son? I thought you could only have 2 kids in China. Isn't that how it is?
Sun?
Oh, the sun.
Yes.
The sun.
Yeah. So China's been playing with some like sun, dude, like some artificial sun. So I haven't done as much research on this subject as I should have, because immediately I'm gonna read the headline here. If you could pull it back up. China's artificial sun sets record with 100 million degree heat for 18 minutes medicine's troll that's playing with fire. So my questions are, first and foremost, how big is this? It can't,
Artificial
yeah,
sun.
it can't be something that's very big. Because one, it's 100 million degrees, right? Two, how do you contain something that's 100 million degrees? And three, what type of instrument can measure the heat of something that's 100 million degrees? Is that even accurate at that point?
Whoa.
You understand what I'm
How
saying?
could you even measure that?
How would you know at what point its accuracy might be tapering off? Like, what is the margin for error on something like this?
Yeah, what's the difference between 1 million degrees and 100 million? Like, would you be able to tell the difference? No, that shit's hot.
But that's these are the different variables I'm thinking about when I read this. But China's artificial sun recently set a record by maintaining a temperature of 100 million degrees for 18 minutes. That's hotter than your coffee and most likely hotter than your temper when the Wi-Fi is slow. Scientists out there are acting as cosmic cooks, creating a little sun on Earth while we're having trouble with the thermostat. We may have sunny days even while it's pouring if the trend continues. Just remember to wear sunscreen. Why are we doing this is my question. Is like, I'm certain it has something to do with power, right?
Yeah, so here we go. The artificial sun, also known as the Experimental Advanced Superconducting Tokamak, and abbreviated EAST, conducted a groundbreaking experiment. China has been working to develop nuclear fusion technology in an effort to mimic the sun's power here on Earth. And the EAST has achieved a feat by sustaining plasma for over 17 minutes or 1,000 seconds, breaking its previous record for plasma confinement. The milestone reflects a major advancement for this new fusion energy research, which breaks a previous record of 403 seconds achieved a few years ago. Nuclear fusion, the mechanism that powers the EAST, has been long heralded as the holy grail of power generation and the best way to achieve sustainable energy. China's artificial sun could be a step closer for the world toward infinite clean energy, or at least a new excuse to blame when the AC mysteriously stops working in the summer. Let's just hope they don't accidentally toast the planet while they're at it. Wow, that's
that was
real.
going to be my next question is, what happened to it after the 17 minutes?
Oh, that's a really good question. Does it explode? Like, is it?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it does something catastrophic.
Yeah, I mean, how long does it take to
They're
cool
like,
down?
yeah, 10,000 people died real quick, but we ain't gonna tell nobody about that.
That's something to think about. It's definitely something to think about.
Like, where are y'all doing this at?
I'm pretty sure it would have said that in this article.
Yeah.
Says the observation, though, made in jest, draws attention to the fact that scientists are actually playing with fire, burning energy only to keep things hot. Netizens are obviously having a great time when scientists spend energy to keep something sizzling for 1,000 seconds. They are obviously literally toying with fire. It's something like attempting to maintain a bonfire on a windy day, only if used properly, this fire could fuel the world's future. If they continue in this direction, they may soon be selling tickets to the world's hottest backyard barbecue, where the rules of physics might be the only thing being cooked.
Ooh.
Not to mention that we might all soon be residing in homes powered by fusion if they are able to crack the issue. Yeah. Imagine living in a future where your coffee maker is essentially a miniature star, your refrigerator is powered by plasma, and your toaster is powered by the sun.
Here we go.
The drawback, in order to tolerate the intense light, you'll most likely need to wear sunglasses indoors.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, we're getting way too far. That's a problem with humans, man. You know, we get an idea and we get so far ahead of ourselves that we hurt ourselves later. We're talking about dealing with food and things with this stuff. We don't know what type of effect this is going to have on the human body over time.
Totally.
You understand? So this is, these people are crazy. But you know what I did think about?
These people are crazy.
You know what I thought about, dude? All you got to do if you want to know something about this, if you want to know what happened when it exploded, I mean, what happened at the end of the 17 minutes? You ask, what's it called?
DeepSeek?
You ask DeepSeek. DeepSeek is a DeepSeek out here telling. DeepSeek out here telling secrets that they don't want them to tell.
This is definitely something that's happening here, man.
But alongside that, though, off topic, man, real quick. You know the thing what happened with TikTok, how it was supposed to be banned? Dude.
Yeah.
I realized something yesterday that came to my attention. You know, because I play games, man, like video games, and I play games on my phone and stuff. There's several games that I played that have been removed from the App Store from January 20th, 2024.
So the same time.
So there was other games that those people were playing with other companies in China. Oh. And those other companies in China also did not want to comply. And
so it's not just TikTok.
No, TikTok is the one that has the notoriety, that had the largest following.
Yeah.
But we're talking about some apps that have, like, you know, 300,000, 600,000, 1 million followers, you know, or better, people that's playing these games, and those are just gone. I was yesterday, like, going to play a game, and I was like, bro, I know I have this app, bro.
So they brought TikTok back, but a lot of the damage was done.
They're gone, bro. They're gone. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of those apps out of China that they were just like, yeah, nah, China, you ain't complying. You're out.
So what happened with all TikTok? So it's back? Like it never left?
It left for a couple hours, but I guess the proposal is something along the lines of half of the company will belong to the American government or something of this nature.
Yeah. Oh, so the government is really upset that China is getting all this crazy data and all that stuff, but as long as they own half, it's cool.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think it's more to do with the technology itself. It has been said by many people that the platform of TikTok itself is superior to some of Mr. Musk's stuff.
Okay.
And that it seems as though anything that's better than, they want a part of it. Yeah. Because they don't understand it, right? They want the technology. So that's why the DeepSeek thing is such a big deal. It's because they were like, yo, yeah, we're going to get $500 billion to develop this, right? And you have all these little guys.
You mean ChatGPT, right. OpenAI was going to get $500 billion.
Well, they was creating this.
Because they got it. They got the $500 billion.
They don't have the $500 billion. They only had $10 billion that was put into the actual account to make it happen. Nobody had the money straightforward to do it. Oh. So they was talking about it and it was going to happen. And so this is good for that industry, right? So you have a whole bunch of little guys that's like, damn, that's $500 billion pump into our space. That's good for us. Well, a couple days later, these guys are like, hi.
Off of $5 million.
Well, we already did that.
Yeah.
Whatever you're thinking of, we done already broke the internet on that. And it's here. Here you go.
And it's open source.
Hey, that's the crazy thing. It wasn't like, well, we've been working on this and here's this concept. They're not like, hey, you know what though? You're talking about this. Here you go. Roll it out. Roll it out.
Yeah, because it also means if they did that, how much further ahead are they in reality?
Oh, realistically, man.
They gave that up?
We think like so small here politically, not understanding like the amount of, so you know how like you have somebody that hustles, they get by, but the guy that works the job every day and is just consistent, he just does much better.
Yeah, kind of.
I feel like China's that guy. I feel like China's the guy that like, it doesn't matter if you agree with his policy or not, or how he does things or not. he has the oldest company in the world.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes him successful. And how you gonna tell him how to do shit?
Yeah, I kind of understand.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with a lot of the sentiments of some of the things that we don't agree with because we're American.
Yeah.
But we're not. I don't think we're being realistic about who these people are, like what they have over there. Like, bro, like, are we acting like we're not seeing them build cities in like a week? Like, these niggas is building cities in a week, dog.
Yeah, they don't have all the.
You know how long it takes them to build a bridge, bro?
Get a permit. We're telling you to build this. Just build it.
Yeah, but it's built like literally. They have the technology to build it in like 4 days, a week. A bridge, bro. There was nothing there but a mountain and some water and another mountain. At the end of the week, there was a bridge.
Yeah,
that's how they're working over there, bro. So respect.
Well, this next one's funny, man. This is it's titled video "The Harlem Globetrotters Back in Action."
The Harlem Globetrotters.
So I think those are keys, right? Where they're like they got the keys. And it's like get it to the guy that's gonna bounce out.
Hey, yeah, get it to the fastest one. Hey, you know he the fastest one. He was looking the whole time.
Drop on the floor. Oh, up in the air.
Get him.
Oh,
get him to Jarvis. He gone. That boy gone.
Yeah, we don't know what happened with this. We just thought it's like, what a scenario that you got going on here. The one cop's holding the guy in the orange by his arm.
Hey, that was funny though. The last one though, the lady cop, she was hella short, and the dude was short, but she was so tiny.
Look at this guy. He's holding. Is this fake?
Nah,
come on.
That
guy went after
pretty
him for
real, bro.
Like,
nah, he got tackled against that car pretty hard.
I mean, we can just watch. These guys are getting view after view after view from us, man. Because
it's fire though. I hope they whatever they needed to get up out of there. I hope they got it up out of there. That's a lot of effort.
So this video would be like nothing without this awesome music and awesome name.
Yeah,
springing us in and going. Yeah,
that's another one though. Like kids. Yeah. Pause that real quick, please. Kids, man. Poor kids. Y'all have no idea about the Harlem Globetrotters, man. You know, when we were kids, they were dope. They were like, you know, we always thought they were doper than NBA players because they were just doing all the dope tricks. This is before they were the original and one.
Yes.
They were the original and one.
Except that was street. And one was pure street.
Yeah.
But they did the same kind of tricks, but Harlem Globetrotters, they were the ones like literally spinning the ball and doing all the stuff.
But they were doing this at halftime shows at NBA games, though. They were raw.
Yeah,
like the Globetrotters were raw like that, though.
Yeah, I definitely. They're still around though. You can still go watch them.
I would like to see what they're looking like. Like seeing like compared to what it was like back then.
Gambler Guardian
like
field trip.
Are they whack? Are they whack now? You know what I'm saying? Are they dope still?
It's still awesome when you see somebody throw it across full court and make it. Yeah. You know, it's still.
All you got to do if you want to see that is watch a Warriors game.
Yeah, the pre-workout for the Warriors game is Steph Curry.
Shout out to Patrick Mahomes, bro.
Oh, come on.
Hey, listen, I don't even watch football, but it's just like when you got an athlete, bro, that's just that much of a standout, bro, you gotta love it and respect it. If you're an athlete,
I see out there is all these videos about him and how everything works to his favor.
Bro, you gotta ask my dad, bro. I was like, yo, when he first came about, I was like, you see that boy right there? I was like, watch him. I was like, he's special. I told my dad, I was like, he's gonna be one of the greatest of all time. That's my dad. And then this boy started winning these Super Bowl back to back to back. And every time he get in these situations, like Joe Montana type situations, and then just come out shining. Yeah, and I'd be like, Dad, I tell you that boy is like Steph Curry with football pads.
Yeah, he's definitely got some skills. He's definitely good. On the same note, I've been seeing the videos.
Come on, brother.
You'll watch our listeners in the comments. They'll be telling you, man, it's everything out there is making people not want to watch football because what they do to prop him up and keep his
All right,
team
you want
winning.
to say that? Y'all could argue the same thing again. Like there was a discussion between Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain, in which Wilt Chamberlain told him at the end of the conversation, Michael, when I played the game, they changed the game to make it harder for me.
Yeah.
When you got involved, they made the game easier. They changed the game to make it easier for you. So you know this. They changed the rule for free throws because Wilt Chamberlain used to dunk from the free throw line.
So they moved it back?
No, so you can only shoot from the free throw line, brother.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they change rules for people all the time. The basketball gets softer for
Oh,
Michael.
because he used to stand at the free throw line and then
Zoom,
jump.
bam.
Yeah.
So the game got softer for Michael. It got even softer for Kobe and even softer for LeBron, right? So it's like you cannot compare it in that manner.
No,
you have
it's
to
different.
it's time relative, period, right? If you want to be crazy about it, just bring steroids back to football and let these boys bust heads. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we're on. We're like, we're in a time period. So as I say that, I digress. There may be some people watching who are younger who did not see what we saw. So when we grew up, it was the end of the time period where football players and like a lot of these athletes were using steroids. This was common practice. These performance enhancing drugs, and these guys were monsters out there.
Oh,
They had the attitudes to back it.
They had those pads right here, and they literally just.
Sometimes, as you say, pads. Sometimes those guys wrapped it in.
That's what I'm saying.
Wrapped it in what is this stuff that they make the cast out of?
Yeah, plaster.
Plaster, right? So it was a different time period. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about that. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, times change.
Apples to oranges, brother.
Yeah. So we're gonna make a drastic shift here.
Pivot.
Drastic pivot. This is from Everybody Loves Your Money. 8 relationship ties that are holding you back from having real love.
That's very interesting. Let's see if I have any of these.
Yeah. So finding real love can feel like a daunting journey, especially when societal pressures, past experiences, and self-doubt cloud your perspective. Often the roadblock isn't external. It's the lies we've come to believe about relationships that keep us from experiencing authentic love. These misconceptions can create unrealistic expectations, unnecessary fear, and even sabotage your chances of building meaningful connections. Let's uncover 8 relationship lies that may be holding you back and how to overturn them.
Okay. 1, I have to be perfect to be loved. One of the biggest relationship lies is believing you need to be flawless to deserve love. Perfectionism puts unnecessary pressure on yourself and potential partners. True love isn't about being perfect. It's about it's about being authentic and vulnerable. When you embrace your imperfections, you give others permission to do the same, creating a deeper bond. Remember, flaws make you human, relatable, and lovable. Let go of the need for perfection and focus on being your true self.
Yeah, I believe in that wholeheartedly, man.
100%.
Like, if you should be able to be yourself, you should also, wherever you're at the moment, you're worthy of being loved.
I think it's a big thing, though. It's like you have to have consideration for your partner and who you're around. And I think if you are in a situation in which you can fully just let it all hang out and without being reserved at all, that's a blessing, But I don't know how common that is.
I think it's very common if you don't have a relationship, and when you have a relationship, like if you do that, you're probably not going to have a very long relationship.
Unless and like there's those There's those people like I envy them, bro. That they got that. There's some relationships that's just like that. That people just accept them for who they are
So
and
is
don't
that
care.
finding the perfect person?
Damn, is it?
Dang, maybe. I mean, it must jive for that other person. So number 2, love should be effortless. The idea that love should happen naturally without any effort is a harmful misconception. Healthy relationships require work, communication, and compromise to thrive. Challenges and disagreements don't mean the relationship is failing. They're opportunities to grow together. Expecting love to be easy sets you up for disappointment when it really hits. Instead, view effort as an investment in your relationship's longevity. The strongest relationships are built on mutual effort and intentionality. So I always thought it should just work, right? I always kind of thought it should just work.
I feel like depending on the intensity of an argument, I feel insecure. Like I feel like instability because it's disharmonious.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like, and maybe it's just because some people don't know this about me yet, but yes, I'm an idealist. So like often I see things how they should be as to how they really are. That's because I believe in people.
Yeah.
And like, I just want to believe in humanity. But yeah, man, I think that it is all a part of it.
I really like what it says there about how they're an opportunity to grow together. Like, so when you have some kind of disagreement or a challenge, yeah, if love is truly loving someone means those challenges you make the opportunity to grow together
They don't feel like
opposed
that,
to
though.
apart.
They don't feel like an opportunity when it's happening.
Yeah, but if you know that that's what it is, if I had a disagreement with you, the whole time I'm like, all right, first off, we're having a disagreement, but I'm holding space that we're going to get through this challenge and it's going to make us stronger, right? I know that in the back of my head. You know that in the back of your head too. So then when you approach it, the one thing you don't do is pull out all your weapons. You approach it from a better perspective because at the other side of this, hey man, we're still going to be moving forward. We're going to be growing, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't go so far as to cut off each other's legs or something.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, number 3. I'll be happy once I find the right person. Believing someone else can complete you is a dangerous mindset that puts your happiness in someone else's hands. I'm going to say that one again.
Yeah.
Believing someone else can complete you is a dangerous mindset that puts your happiness in someone else's hands. Real love comes from 2 whole individuals coming together, not one person filling a void. If you rely on a partner to make you happy, you risk losing yourself in the relationship. Focus on building and fulfilling life independently before seeking love. When you're happy on your own, you're more likely to attract someone who complements your life. That sounds really nice. As me being an idealist, that sounds ideal, but it doesn't sound realistic.
Yeah.
Like if you got the patience for that, cool. But say you're 43.
Yep.
Are you up here right now? Let me focus on fulfilling my life independently before seeking love, maybe. But if something pops up in front of you, are you going to be like, I'm sorry, baby, but I need to focus on building and fulfilling life independently before we get to know each other better? Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
No?
I know what you're saying, but I do believe in what it's saying is if you don't have an understanding of yourself and independently what drives you and what you're working on for your own self-worth, then it's going to be hard to be in a relationship where you're now trying to show up as who you are and your self-worth is not there because you haven't been doing your independent stuff.
That's all fine and well again. But there's the life is hard thing, right? And it's like life is easier with a partner thing.
Oh, that's true too.
And it's just like being alone is hard, bro.
Yeah.
Like when something comes about that looks like it makes sense and it makes you feel good.
Yeah, then that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to decline. It's like if for me, that's a gamble that I'm always willing to take.
Yeah, because there is also the thing where it's like you shouldn't try for it. It should just show up for you. Like it'll show up for you when you're not least expecting it, is what they say.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
And so, but to me, what that means is you're doing what you're supposed to be doing independently, which is what manifests that right person to show up. That's how I take this thing. Just like we're going through doing these podcasts. I got these different business ventures I'm doing. I'm snowboarding. I'm doing this stuff for me. I'm like on my path. I'm feeling good about my own self-esteem and what I'm doing for myself independently. Well, doing those things, I believe it'll source the right lady to come into my world.
100%.
You know? And I think that's what it's trying to say.
Interesting. 4, fighting means we're not meant to be.
Oh, damn.
This is a heavy one, right?
Yeah. So if you fight, you're not meant to be together? I mean,
many people assume that conflict is a sign of incompatibility, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, and they can actually strengthen your bond if handled correctly. What matters is how you communicate and resolve conflicts, not whether they happen. Avoiding fights altogether often leads to resentment and unsolved issues.
yep.
Healthy conflict resolution involves active listening, empathy, and compromise. Don't fear fights. Embrace them as a chance to grow closer. Damn. This is difficult for me. This is a hard one for me, man.
Well, it's because you're a fighter, man.
Well, because that, and I'm also like, my nature is soft. I'm a gentle nature person.
Yeah.
I don't like to fight.
You don't like conflict.
Yeah, I don't
you're
like.
an anti-conflict
Yeah,
person.
how do you call it? There's another word for the conflict. I'm anti. I'll remember in a second, but go ahead. Trying to think of the word.
So that disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, completely true, right? It's gonna happen. It may be something as simple as where are we gonna go to eat tonight, right? But financial disagreements, where you put your money, that's definitely gonna be a thing that you have to work through together. You guys won't both believe in the same thing, where your kid goes to school, all these different things pop up, right? And, you know, what it says in this number 4 that's so important in my, perspective is healthy conflict resolution involves active listening, empathy, and compromise. So, conflict resolution and working through the things that are a disagreement is literally how you're going to build your relationship. And the best relationships, if you look at them that you have in your life, there has been things that probably have happened over the years that could have been a big thing to say, we're not friends or we're not together anymore. But when you worked through them, you now have this understanding of how they react when something's going crazy. And how that makes you feel. And then, so I think that to have truly long-term amazing relationships, it takes having shit happen, working through that, and being better after.
Yes. One, the word is non-confrontational.
Non-confrontational, yeah.
Yes. Two, all this is true when having two people that are level-headed people in conversing.
Oh, this is big.
So as I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, this is all true, but I'm like, what's missing from here?
Yeah.
Why won't this work? I'm like, wait a minute.
Someone's not being level-headed.
There's people that bringing other stuff into these type of conversations, like, you know, like a little nastiness and saying a little extra stuff and little jabby things and stuff that is no space for that if you're trying to be productive.
Yeah.
Having a certain type of tone
Oh, yeah.
that will not allow the conversation to be in a nice rhythm
Yeah.
that will make this happen.
Oh, man.
You understand?
That's what makes things go crazy.
And that is a problem. That's a problem that I see a lot of times that people have. So with all that being said, I think when selecting a partner, I'm one of those people. Like I'm a fool's rush in, full, you know, go in. Let's make it happen fast, done. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful when selecting a partner that we should first try to see what it's like when an argument comes about before we make this major commitment to these people.
Yep.
Because if this person is not a level-headed person when something is happening,
Yep.
then you're going to find yourself in some miserable situations.
Yeah. I think being level-headed usually comes with time. So
If it comes.
I guess there's certain people that, man, I've had the experience. I'm like, well, you'll never be level-headed. That being said, usually how you approach your conflict resolution, how you approach the disagreement by, like you said, your tone, how much time you take. Hey, this is getting a little bit out of hand. I don't want to have the conversation when we're all, you know, so pumped up about it. Let's come back tomorrow.
Emotionally charged.
Yeah,
right?
so emotionally charged. Let's come back another time. Doing that will allow yourself to be more level-headed when you re-come together, and then you can actually work toward a solution.
That's the difficulty, though,
Yeah.
is recognizing when it's time to take that walk.
Yeah. I see this happens not just in love-related relationships, but also in business, right? You get in a disagreement with your business partner. It starts going down the road. It goes awry. Then it's like if both sides are not level-headed, you're not going to be able to find a path to really support each other and move forward.
Makes sense.
You know?
Makes sense.
So this one, I hear a lot of ladies I believe a lot of ladies have said this. Right?
A lot of men. I've heard a lot of men say this.
Oh, like turn a hoe into a housewife? That type of thing?
Maybe.
Maybe
that.
I know. I've
In some ways,
for that.
it's some of those too.
I've fallen for that. So the number 5 is I can change them. Believing you can change your partner to fit your ideal image is a recipe for frustration and disappointment. Love isn't about trying to mold someone into who you want them to be. It's about accepting them as they are. While people can grow and evolve, change must come from within, not external pressure. Trying to fix someone can damage their self-esteem and create tension in the relationship. Focus on finding a partner whose values and lifestyle align with yours instead of hoping for change.
Yeah, it will all come back around to bite you in the ass for certain.
Yeah.
When you do things like this is only a selfish intention. This is not to benefit the other person, and that's why it will never work out for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, it goes down to also, it's like, you know, oh, you're going to meet your next wife at the club, right? I don't go to the club. So the one time that I go to the club, now I'm going to meet a lady and then she's going to be the one for me. Her lifestyle is going to,
She just happened to be out tonight looking for love.
Oh, yeah, the one time. Yeah. I don't know. The changing them thing is like people can change themselves. They could choose to make some changes. And often, if you're a positive impact in someone's life and you're, doing something a certain way, they may start adjusting to your way of doing things, being that they see that it's supporting them as well. But holding it over their head and saying, you need to do this for us to work, it's like you've already made a decision up. You guys are not.
The compatibilities doesn't seem as though it's there.
Yeah.
This one.
This is a good one.
Love should feel like a fairy tale. So, like, a lot of times people have a picture painted.
Yeah, we've seen this as kids, especially young girls were always turned into princesses. This was a thing.
And it's just like many people have this picture in their head of what they think is supposed to be. Love is supposed to be this way. A relationship is supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
And they enter into a relationship thinking that it is supposed to be this way, unwittingly setting some expectation for someone that they don't even, first of all, they didn't even set for real. And this person is trying to live up to this expectation that this person has manufactured in their head based on nothing.
Well, usually it's movies, other people's experiences, something in their head of like, this is how it needs to be because I saw this Instagram post.
Exactly. So romantic stories and fairy tales have set unrealistic expectations for what love should feel like. In reality, love is less about grand gestures and more about consistent everyday acts of care and commitment. Expecting constant excitement can leave you feeling unfulfilled when things settle into a routine.
Yup.
Real love often grows in the mundane moments, cooking together, sharing laughter, and supporting each other through challenges. Let go of the fantasy and embrace the beauty of ordinary, real-life love.
Man, this hit home for me.
That was excellent.
Yeah. I literally look at what it said about, the mundane moments, cooking together, sharing laughter, supporting each other. That's what I want. All this other stuff of like, oh, we're going to ride horses on the beach. It's like, yeah, that's going to be a cool moment if we get to do it. But the simple fact is, whether we had a cool moment doing that or not, making dinner with you and taking an evening walk with you should be pretty awesome.
People want fantasies fulfilled, brother.
Yeah.
And, that's a crazy thing is, too. It's like, for me, like, you see on social media, there's some people that build careers off of complaining about, expectations and different things in relationships when there's all this, like, many things that are there to have gratitude for.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, just stop the BS. Like,
Yeah.
if they're not for you, then they're not for you.
Yes.
We don't need to make a big thing about that.
Man, you're bringing up something that we're going to have to hit on a little bit later. It's about getting stuck and when it's time to like.
Well, I think maybe the people that do the red pill content, they're not trying to help anyone. This is not for help. You understand?
Even though it comes off like we're trying to help.
It comes off as this, but it's like, if you're only like emphasizing these things that people are complaining about and like
to get hits
and like how you say bringing awareness and casting light on these things without any expressing opinion is fine, it's great, it's always welcome, but if you're not offering any type of solution or any type of insight to this, for me it's just like,
yeah, that's a good thing is what we're trying to do here is bring some insight to it.
yes.
So the next one, number 7, let her rip.
I need to keep my guard up to avoid getting hurt. And this is another one this is very common in relationships, and sometimes it take a long time, if ever, for people to lower that guard, and people are often fighting that guard.
Yep.
Protecting your heart by keeping your guard up might feel safe, but it also prevents you from experiencing deep connection. Vulnerability is the foundation of intimacy, and love requires taking emotional risks. Holding back your true feelings or building walls creates distance rather than closeness. Yes, vulnerability comes with the possibility of pain, but it also opens the door to genuine love. Take small steps to let your guard down and build trust with your partner. I like that one. So like me, man, I'm like that. I'm like one of those people, man.
Yeah.
The relationship that I'm in right now has taught me a lot about like myself. Like because it's the longest relationship I've been in.
Yeah. How long has it been?
Today it's 11 years.
Today.
Dang.
Yana, thank you for letting him be here. And if you didn't know he was going to do this, please don't come back and get me later. Much love.
But like, because of my upbringing and because of what I did for a living for most of my adult life.
As a bodyguard?
Yes. Confidentiality was my business.
Yeah.
And
probably weren't able to have many relationships when what you're doing is bodyguard and traveling around doing all that.
Very limited, right?
Long-term type stuff, not possible.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Man, this one girl, poor girl, man, she would tell me, and I lived with her. This is a true story. She would say to me, please just give me 1 day a week.
That doesn't seem like too much to ask.
That's all I ask is 1 day.
To actually spend time with you. That's what she wants, spend time.
But
she didn't ask for a big romantic gesture.
That, but at that point in time,
that was too much to ask.
It was not possible.
Yeah, it's too much.
That's how I was outside like that, bro. Like it was deep like that. I was around the clock with it, and it was an amazing time, amazing experience. But again,
you had to make a decision on whether having a relationship was more important than doing, your career.
Yeah, but like being in a relationship for a long time, it's like you get to see stuff about yourself in relationships that you didn't know about, right? That like it draws it's stuff that is drawn out of you because of different situations that you have been in before, but not with a significant other. Yeah. So the same situation that I might go through with you and then situation I might go through with my lady, not totally the same thing.
Yeah.
And we often like to do that. I do. Very guilty of this. I will be like, yo, I don't have these problems of communicating with anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Only you or my dad.
Yeah.
You understand?
Oh, yeah.
The reality is you're not going to have this with anyone else. Totally. Because it's a different type of relationship.
Yeah.
And I think maybe in our relationships, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is something we should look into. I feel as though the love is there. Like in a friendship, in a relationship, friendship, you have love there too, strong.
For sure.
But in the relationship with your lady there, I feel like there's admiration that is not as strong there.
Yeah, different kind of respect that you have for your brother.
That's right.
Than you do for your lady.
So when you go around your brothers, when you go around your people, you feel lifted up in a different way.
Totally.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, they see you differently than your lady does.
Right. And it's a different feeling when you're out with your lady. And it's a different pride that you have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So those are things when we look at that one that we just read, those are all things to be considered when thinking about that.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Nathan. I might even learn something here.
You never know.
Never know. It's possible. Number 8. There's only one, the one for me.
Woo!
The idea of a single soulmate can create unrealistic pressure and keep you stuck in relationships that aren't right. In reality, there are many people you could potentially build a happy, fulfilling life with. Compatibility isn't about finding one perfect person. It's about choosing someone whose values align with yours and committing to making it work. Holding out for the one can lead to missed opportunities and unnecessary loneliness. Real love is about choice, effort, and mutual growth.
I agree with this, and I would like to say to everyone, don't make the mistake of thinking that your soulmate can only be a significant other.
Oh, wow.
A soulmate is just this soulmate.
Yeah.
It is not has nothing to do with attraction. It has nothing to do with the other reasons that you like people and are attracted to them. This is something that is so much deeper than this. And you may have more than one. That's another thing. I've been fortunate to meet one of mine.
Yeah.
And she's 72 years old. Beautiful human being, understands me just like so well that I have so much gratitude for her.
Yeah.
So do not overlook what might be there because of a preconception of what you think a soulmate should be.
Oh, wow. That's deep, dude.
Yes. I have to share this because to find someone like that, the feeling is indescribable.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you say soulmate, it's someone who touches your soul.
Brother, it's like that.
Yeah, you ain't talking about your pee-pee here. You're talking about your soul.
Yeah. And like,
It's
my
different.
lady knows this. She knows her too.
Yeah.
And there's just come some times that, like, we don't talk as much as we used to, not for any reason, but because life be lifing.
Yeah.
But when I need to,
That's
the one.
Yeah.
There's no one else I can call
Yeah.
that can help bring me back to center like her. You
I
understand?
like this,
So,
man. I like this.
Yeah, so you guys keep a lookout. It can be anyone. It can be a child. It can be an elder.
Yeah.
It can be anyone in any packaging. So be on the lookout.
So just to wrap this up, letting go of relationship lies. Breaking free from these relationship lies requires self-awareness, honesty, and a willingness to challenge your beliefs. Real love isn't about perfection, fairy tales, or avoiding conflict. It's about authentic effort and communication. By letting go of these misconceptions, you open yourself up to the possibility of deep, meaningful relationships. Embrace vulnerability, seek growth, and prioritize communication to create the love you've always deserved. Start rewriting your love story today, one truth at a time.
I'm a little let me see what this says. Relationships lies require self. So I'm a little confused about this. Because what I kind of see is like making corrections on stuff you made early on. So a lot of times, you know, we get into a relationship for the reasons we want, right? It's often like our own selfish reasons that we like X, Y, or Z, that it makes sense for us to do this. So maybe down the line, things change in your mind and heart, and your intentions change, and the reasons that you initially entered into the relationship are no longer as relevant to you, and you're trying to maybe reconfigure what you've what you've put together. I don't know.
Yeah. For me, this pretty much makes sense. I mean, I think the lies that it spoke about
Yeah, what
you know,
are these
just to go
lies?
through them again. I have to be perfect to be loved.
That's what it was, right? The lies.
Love should be effortless. I'll be happy once I find the right person. Fighting means we're not meant to be. I can change them. Love should feel like a fairy tale. I need to keep up my guard to avoid getting hurt. And there's only one, the one for me.
Can you go back up to number 4 again? Or 3? Was it 3? What's 3? Now, what's so bad about that?
About
Can this can be true?
I'll be happy once I find the right person. Well, but you can choose to be happy right now,
I understand. I
right?
understand.
Like
Yes, that's
right now, I'm happy.
You don't have to be dependent on.
Oh, yeah, whether I have this other person,
Damn.
point blank, it may be more
I
fulfilled.
feel that that's one I didn't catch though. Like,
Yeah.
just being real. Like, hey, it sounds good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Yeah, it's just
being
like
lonely is
anything
being
else.
lonely, bro. Like to be like shit.
Yeah.
don't
Once
know.
I'm rich, I'll be happy. It's like, okay, now you're rich. Are you happy now?
Yeah, but you
No,
know
you're
what,
not.
though?
Like,
This is the truth of the matter. Most of the time, whether or not a relationship lasts a long time or not, you're gonna have some happiness and you're gonna have some fun in there.
oh, for sure, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta live, dog.
Hey, gotta keep going. Gotta keep going.
Yep.
All right, so let's
As long as it ain't $1,000 a pop.
this is so we started down this relationship thing again, or made the pivot in the episode to talk about it. And now since we talked about all the lies, and this episode is most likely going to air right after Valentine's Day. Hopefully
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, hopefully everybody has a great Valentine's Day, and this is not you.
Yeah, hopefully you don't need this help.
Yeah, hopefully you don't need it. This is from Budget and the Bees. The article is titled, These are the 8 worst ways to break up
I just
with
want
someone."
everybody to know we didn't read this. We just found it to be very interesting. And we wanted to look at it with you guys because it's I want to see what are the 8 worst ways to break up with somebody. I'm sure I've done some of them, but yeah, let's see.
So this just shows a little bit about Nathan and myself. I did read it.
Oh.
And this is I wanted to make sure we weren't just spilling some stuff out, but that's my role more than Nate's, because he shows up and lets it rip.
Just let it rip.
So breaking up is never easy, but how do you do it can make all the difference. The wrong approach can leave lasting emotional scars and unnecessary drama. No matter how difficult the conversation is, treating the other person with respect should always be the priority. Unfortunately, many people take the easy or cowardly route, making the experience even more painful. Here are the worst ways to end a relationship and why you should avoid them at all costs. So the first one, you could go right here.
Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. Ghosting. Ghosting is one of the most hurtful ways to break up with someone. It involves cutting off all communication without any explanation, leaving the other person confused and hurt. While it might seem like an easy way to avoid confrontation,
Yeah.
it creates unresolved emotions and unnecessary anxiety. The person being ghosted may spend weeks or months wondering what went wrong. If you respect one enough to date them, you should at least have the decency to offer closure. I'm sorry to anyone that I've ever ghosted and I've made feel that way. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, so another difference between Nathan and I don't have to make an apology for this one. Ghosting is definitely a thing. Right?
Hey, I was young once.
It happens. Yeah. And it definitely happens much more at, when you're younger and acting much more crazy.
When you're young and hot. Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
he hot.
That's exactly it, right? Number 2, though. This is another one. When you break up over text. Breaking up over text is not only impersonal, but it's also disrespectful. A relationship, no matter how short, deserves a real conversation. Texting removes the ability to have an open discussion, making the other person feel disposable. It also prevents them from asking questions or expressing their emotions in a meaningful way. If distance isn't an issue, always choose to have the conversation in person or at least over a call.
I tried to break up with my lady over text.
How'd that work? She told you to show up, right? She showed up. What happened?
Yeah, I broke up with her in text, and I was gonna ghost her after that. And she showed up at my job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you learned that wasn't
And
the right way?
she didn't let me. We're still together.
Damn.
I'm not lying. You know I'm not lying. You
No,
know
well,
me.
you don't lie,
You know every
so-
time I say something, it's real. It might sound a little crazy to some people, but the truth is the truth. The life is stranger than fiction at times. Yeah.
So she knew what was best for you even though you didn't.
They always think that.
I'm just saying she showed up. You broke up with her over text. You were planning to ghost her. She showed up. And 10 years later, it's your anniversary.
Yeah.
You take this next one, bro.
Oh, yeah, this is great. This is easy. This is the easiest one for me right here. In public, to avoid a scene.
It seems like if you did it in public, you can actually create a scene compared
Yeah.
to doing it in private.
You think? I think people like care more about being embarrassed and like embarrassing themselves and not like acting an ass in public.
Oh, for sure. That's
It might
a
be
thing.
safer.
Well, and for the other person, if you're like, let's say you're breaking up with them, they're going to feel like, look terrible because they got broken up with.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like, I don't like if you got a family with somebody and it's deep, then like, yeah, you should do it like behind closed doors. But like, I don't feel like anybody else like it could be anywhere, bro.
Like this shouldn't matter.
I don't owe
Yeah.
you.
You're
I
doing
don't-
it in.
Yeah, I don't owe you to do this behind closed doors and the comfort and the privacy. Nah, listen, it's over. Let's just wrap this up.
Especially if you don't have a bunch of ties.
Hey,
Like,
look, you don't have
a
no
house
clothes.
together.
You ain't got clothes in my house.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a wrap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you done. You toast, baby.
So here's what it says though. Some people choose to break up in a public space to avoid a dramatic reaction. Well, this might seem like a smart idea. It can actually make the situation worse. The other person may feel trapped, embarrassed, or unable to fully express their feelings. A breakup should be an honest and private discussion, not something staged to control someone's reaction. If you're afraid of their response, it's better to set boundaries rather than manipulate the environment. I don't know if I'm fully on board with all
I
this.
don't know about
man.
that either.
Like, I mean, I get what it's saying that they can't fully express their stuff and all
Like
that.
how deep do they
like,
need to go?
Yeah, I mean,
do they need to
no,
yell?
they couldn't grab that vase and
What
throw
I'm
it at
saying,
my head.
do they need to
'cause they're
yell?
in
Do they need
public.
to yell at you?
I guess.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what it's saying.
Like, do they need to like fully express their emotions, like, and go in on you? Like, do you deserve that? Is that what you need to do
Yeah.
because you're breaking up with them? Is that like a part of the trade-off because you don't want to be with them anymore? Yo, F that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm a grown person. I shouldn't have to be subjected to anything. That's why we're breaking up.
Yeah. Anybody that I've broken up with in a public space, it's been for a reason that they've been crazy. And I was worried about something they'd say or something they'd do if I was just alone with them. And
I don't think I've ever broke up with someone in a public space.
I have. And
Done a lot of ghosting.
I'm grateful that I did, to be honest. This next one definitely wouldn't do. Yeah.
Ooh.
This is bad.
Ooh. Through a friend or a family member? Well, it all depends, dude. Having someone else deliver the bad. Oh yeah. Come on, yeah. You don't do that, right? Having someone else deliver the bad news for you is both cowardly and immature. I agree.
100%.
It shifts the emotional burden onto a third party, making the breakup even more confusing and hurtful. The person being dumped deserves to hear it from you directly, not secondhand from someone else. It also shows a lack of accountability and emotional maturity. If you don't have the courage to end a relationship yourself, you're not ready to be in one.
Whoa, that's a big statement right there. I totally agree though. Like, to have someone else do this for you, you're a coward. You know? And you must not have any respect for them at all.
Well, what about like support? Like somebody being there for support.
Well, maybe that's number 6 or something.
Like,
I don't know.
Like for a woman that want to break up with a man and she's like, I'm a little scared to break up. Well, I want to have somebody there with me.
Yeah, I think someone for support is probably a good idea. I know in one of my relationships, I needed to have someone there because I didn't want anything bad to happen. So having someone else there as a witness, now you literally go crazy and do something really nuts, I'm not going to be blamed for it.
Okay.
You know? So I would say that. Maybe that's on here, though. I don't know. Let's move forward. Here you go. You want to...
5, by slowly fading away. Dragging out a breakup by gradually withdrawing affection and communication is both cruel and unnecessary. This approach, known as the slow fade, makes the other person feel like they're the problem. They may hold on to false hope or feel like they're imagining a distance. Instead of avoiding an honest conversation, be upfront about your feelings. A clean break is always better than a slow, painful decline. Yeah, that's definite.
I mean, this is a pretty simple
Don't
one.
waste my time, first of all. If we breaking up, just break up with me.
It totally...
Listen, don't drag this shit. Don't drag it out. Let me get on with my life.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Can I
Let's
start?
go.
Like, hey, can I hit the start over button? I mean, for real. Like, yeah,
real.
bro.
Yeah, this next one's definitely
For me, like, I'm a life's too short person. Like, I'm not gonna be like sitting there dwelling on it. Oh, I wish this and that, and I wish she. Nah, dog. Moving on.
Yeah.
Like Cali Buds, boy, moving on, boy.
Moving on.
That's right.
So number 6, using social media.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, dude, this is tough. So announcing your breakup through social media before telling your partner is humiliating and disrespectful. Some people update their relationship status, post cryptic messages, or even block their partner before having a real conversation. This public approach turns a private matter into unnecessary drama, inviting unwanted opinions and gossip. Social media should never be a breakup tool. It's a place for sharing, not hurting. Always handle your relationships offline before making any public changes. I agree with that, man. Sounds good to me. I try not to post stuff on social media unless it's for real, because I'm not trying to have everybody else.
I try not to get too personal on social media, period, brother. Like, I might like...
That's the other thing.
I might read something and like get offended by it and leave a snide comment on occasion. Like, I might do that, just being real. But other than that, I don't really do too much interacting on that.
So this next one, being that this is coming out right after Valentine's Day.
After a big event or holiday, breaking up right after your partner's birthday, a vacation, or a major holiday is a low blow. It makes them question whether your affection during those moments was even real. While there's no perfect time for a breakup, doing it immediately after a meaningful occasion feels calculated and cruel. If you know the relationship is ending, it's better to address it before an important event rather than let them build false memories. Thoughtfulness in timing can make a huge difference in how the breakup is received. Hey, look.
This is tough.
I'm just, again, this is just in my own opinion, keeping it real. This is just me. Like, I don't care what day it is. if I knew before, then it was probably going to be over before. Right? If you're like knew it was going to be over and you like trying to get through holidays to see what kind of gifts you're going to get or some corny shit like that, then you're a fool.
Yeah.
Okay?
I see that happen.
Now, if you break up right after, so be it. Look, I'm sorry. If I gonna break up with you, if we're already there, I'm not probably not thinking about how you're gonna feel after because there was a holiday or none. Look, it's over again. It's like why what? So what if during the holiday I figure out that I want to break up with you? Do I have to wait a month or 2 months? Is there a set amount of time that I have to wait that's the right amount of time for me to break up with you after something like this? We have to be realistic about this stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like what you're talking about is being authentically yourself and who you are.
What do we, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what relationships are about.
Yeah,
right?
there's no, like, so this for me, this one, I'm a little bit standoffish on.
Yeah.
It's like a little, like, you know, the people, these things, even what we're reading, a lot of this is really good.
Yeah.
But these are what are called unwritten rules, right?
Yeah. So this too, I don't know. I could see how if your partner has a bunch of stuff planned with the family, the airline tickets, all this different stuff, why you'd want to go through with it in hopes that things will repair by going through the stuff, right? So, and you got all this stuff planned. So if you were to break up, it would literally crush the whole holiday, right?
Right.
So why wouldn't you do it after the holiday?
That's a selfless act,
It
right?
seems like more selfless to do it that way because you're like, man, they planned this whole thing. I'm literally going to be with their family. Their family all knows me. I'm going to show up, see how this feels. If through that process, it still is like, nah, man, I need to do
and
this.
you deserve that. You deserve to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, and in a sense, I think not breaking up right before, because how would that person feel showing up to their family right before Christmas when you were supposed to be there? Now, they're going to show up. They're going to go, by the way, you know, Maria ain't coming or Billy, he's not showing up.
Oh, they gonna know. They gonna know when they see that significant other not there.
Yeah, and now the whole thing is going to be about that instead of enjoying the holiday. So I don't know if I completely agree with this one, but before Valentine's Day, at least if you did it then and you knew you didn't want to do it, sharing that
Valentine's
moment.
Day is not even real, bro.
Well, I mean, it's a holiday for lovers, man. So
nah, you know it's a holiday for lovers? Every day.
Oh, make a short out of that one. That one's
no.
funny.
This is the way we are. Like we don't care about just being real. We're not on Valentine's Day because it's like we show each other we love each other every day. Like
nah, I get
all this
that.
other craziness, man. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's a made-up holiday to sell more diamond rings. So the last one here, blaming them for everything. Ending a relationship by placing all the blame on the other person is unfair and unkind. It's all your fault. Even if their actions contributed to the breakup. Relationships are a two-way street. Making them feel solely responsible for the failure of the relationship can leave emotional scars. A more respectful approach is to acknowledge your own role and communicate why things aren't working out. Blame only fuels resentment, while honesty and kindness foster closure. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, dude. It's never always someone else's fault. It takes two to play, two to tango. Like, that's the whole thing.
Well, it seems that it is common for most couples when arguing when emotions are heightened, right? Before people come back to center.
Yeah.
It's often a you this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you that.
Yeah.
And there's never going to be a resolution with these things.
Yeah.
You know, when you ever go to this type of counseling, they always, when you start with that, the couples counseling, it's always that. He this, she that, she this.
I know.
And then they go, all right, listen, cool. We get it now. Like, you cannot keep saying it's her, and you cannot keep saying it's him. Like, you have to look within yourselves to see, what am I doing? You know what I mean? So,
and what's the deep roots of why something they're doing is hurting you?
yeah.
That you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I think there's definitely some good things. Let's go through, and why don't you repeat them all one more time?
All right. These are the worst ways to break up with someone. 1, ghosting. 2, over text. 3, in public to avoid a scene. 4, through a friend or family member. 5, by slowly fading away. 6, using social media. 7, after a big event or holiday. And 8, blaming them for everything.
Yeah, there's definitely some helpful stuff here. One thing I know is I got to get a girlfriend to worry about breaking up with her.
That's one thing. You have to do that first.
Yeah, you got to do that
Before,
first.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So at least I got that covered.
Yes.
So let's move forward here and quickly talk about. We spoke a little bit about DeepSeek, right?
Yes.
This is a new AI, right? And the article here is from The Independent. It says how DeepSeek users are forcing the AI to reveal the truth about Chinese executions, right? So first off, those who don't know about DeepSeek, it's a new AI that came out. It came out on the same day that ChatGPT was awarded some kind of deal for $500 million to build out some stuff that they're doing.
Batter.
Yeah. And when it came out, as Nathan said, DeepSeek basically said, oh yeah, guess what? Here's this. And launched DeepSeek to the public, which is an open source platform that they apparently spent about $5 million and did in a few months to create something that has taken the US-based OpenAI ChatGPT years and a ton of money to create.
And we don't even know if what we were trying to do in America is even still like, we don't know if it's even close to what these guys have already done.
And what they're putting out there is open source, meaning anybody could take it and start using it and building upon it themselves, right? So the article says there are certain things DeepSeek doesn't want you to know. Essentially, 1,156 things to be precise. The Chinese startup's latest AI chatbot went viral this week after its performance matched that of OpenAI's ChatGPT, despite being built at a fraction of the cost. It topped Apple's app charts and inflicted $1 trillion worth of losses to the share prices of the world's biggest tech companies. That's a ton of money.
That's damage, dude.
Yeah. But while DeepSeek's R1 is intelligent enough to match the best models built by the US tech firms, it is also intelligent enough to know not to upset the Chinese Communist Party. Mm-hmm. When presented with topics seemed sensitive by Beijing, the breakthrough artificial intelligence model refuses to give an answer. If you ask what happened in
Tiananmen
Square on the 4th of June, 1989, it responds, sorry, that's beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. If questioned about the treatment of
Uyghur Muslims,
executions carried out using mobile death vans, or even simply who is Xi Jinping, see, it will come up with the same response. When asked about Winnie the Pooh, it refused to even answer, right? So analysis by researchers at the developer blog PromptFu found that 1,156 prompts containing CCP-sensitive information triggered the refusal message, while other subjects like Taiwan resulted in pro-China propaganda about the island nation.
Damn.
China's online censorship laws mean that tech companies operating within its borders must adhere to strict rules about what content can appear. Known as the Great Firewall of China, it prevents Chinese web users from accessing websites like Google, Facebook, and Wikipedia. Typically, this censorship does not exceed beyond China's borders, but the sudden popularity of Chinese apps like DeepSeek puts other web users at risk of Chinese censorship and disinformation. DeepSeek users have already found ways to get around the app's restrictions, either through the phrasing of a question or by adjusting its underlying code. It turns out DeepSeek can be trivially jailbrokered, one researcher wrote. Having tested many models and applications that go to great lengths to censor certain topics, it's clear that DeepSeek implemented CCP censorship in a crude, blunt force way. I speculate that they did the bare minimum necessary to satisfy CCP controls, and there was no substantial effort within DeepSeek to align the model below the surface. So that's someone else said that. So essentially they're saying that even though they did this, you could get around it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. So upon reading that last paragraph, I would not get DeepSeek.
Oh, really?
It doesn't sound very secure, does it? You got regular people out here talking about they could jailbreak it.
No. It's AI. You build upon it. It's open source. So what they do is they take the code, they move it on their server, then they build upon it. Right? They're building stuff on it. If right now, if I took ChatGPT, like, you know, if I'm doing some stuff for The Gambler and The Guardian, and I pulled it up and I wanted to create my own prompts with it, ChatGPT, I'm creating my own prompts.
If you're listening, what I'm saying is the way from what I'm analyzing, from what it sounds like, the way that it has been programmed, right, is to avoid certain things in entirety, right? And it sounds as though that there's ways around this. So that is a little farther beyond just taking it and building off of it. You understand what I'm saying? You're cracking codes in essence to be able to do something that the program is not intended to do.
I understand
that the makers of the program made it that it could not do.
Yeah.
So am I wrong? Am I reading this wrong?
No, that sounds right.
That's what's scary to me. So meaning someone who have the necessary skills to go backdoor in there, have accessibility to unlimited data. Because, you know, as you know, all AI is farming data, and it is built off of what we give it, yes?
Yep.
I don't know. You know, I'm not a tech person. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah. You know, I'd love for our listeners to put some comments about this.
Yeah, if you can answer some of this stuff.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that we're gonna have to go down the road because, you know, I've been using ChatGPT and a couple of the other AIs, and it seems like super helpful in a bunch of different tasks that I'm doing. And I haven't used this yet, but I have heard how great it is even compared to, you know, GPT, which I think is pretty incredible. So I don't know if there's a better option. You know, it's like I had a friend and I was...
You did?
Yeah, I still have this friend.
Oh.
Yep.
Word.
It's a friend that you know and you'd consider my friend too.
Oh.
And talking to this friend, and he downloaded this app, and he's used ChatGPT a lot and Gronk and a bunch of them, Gemini, and he started using DeepSeek a little bit, and he says, Anthony, it is 10x better at its responses than what every other one that I've used. And I said, yeah, but, and I talked about this kind of stuff, right? I go, how do you, and he goes, well, let me give you an example. So this is before any of the world wars. You had the ability to have access to the military from year 2000. And it's 1942. And you got the access to all the ability that year 2000 would have as your military. Would you not use it? And I'm like, oh, shit. That's something to consider. Because who are we? Oh, you're trying to track what I'm doing? You ain't worried about what I'm doing. I ain't the government. I ain't all this. I'm just a little guy trying to create a podcast, have a couple businesses that are semi-successful so I could take care of my family and maybe meet a good lady and, have a healthy and long life. That's it. I don't want anything to do with any of that other stuff. So for me, does that matter? I know it's important to our government to do whatever they're trying to do.
They're going to put DeepSeek in a corner like they did TikTok.
Yeah. But for small timers or individuals, if this is going to 10x my level of doing business and help me that much more, is it more beneficial for me to be using this for free than to be using ChatGPT and paying them? If it works 10th as good?
Right.
I mean, so that's the thing to consider that I got going through my head. I still haven't done it. It's definitely in my head.
It's deep.
Yeah, we get to dig in a little bit more about that.
Right on.
Right, so
I think we might be towards our cap time.
yeah, we're getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just did, right? Yeah.
All right, well, let's knock these off. These are a minute and a half each. We got 5 of them.
Okay.
And the deal is, so you know, the examples, there's 2 or 3 of them in each one. So whoever reads it is great, but let's read the examples together, talk about it, and then we move to the next one. So we spend like 3 minutes each.
Go.
All right, so.
The weight of your words. The weight of your words shape your reality. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Plato. Your words carry weight. They can build trust or break it, inspire action or cause doubt. What if you thought before you spoke, ensuring your words serve a purpose? What if you used tone and delivery that aligns with your intention? What if you paused when emotions ran high, avoiding words that you can't take back? What if you spoke in a way that uplifted rather than tore down? What if you, remembering that silence sometimes be the most powerful response?
Yeah, wow. This is literally the quote for our intro.
That's correct.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. So an example of this, instead of telling an employee, you always mess this up, say, I noticed some challenges here. Let's figure out how to improve it together.
Yeah, how can we fix this?
Yeah. Instead of saying to your girlfriend, you never listen.
Damn it.
Try, I feel unheard when I talk to you. Can we figure out a better way to communicate?
I gotta try that one.
Man, girlfriends would love that, I'm sure. Instead of telling a business partner you're overreacting, say, I see this really matters to you. Let's talk about what's bothering
Hey,
you.
what's really going on, brother?
Exactly.
Like you got some other shit going on.
All right. So I'm getting this is it's different than before. I think what we should do is plan on this being like a 3 or 4 minute thing where we're kind of going back and forth a little bit, where one of us,
We should kick it back and forth a little bit more and spend more time on it, is what you're saying.
in here, yeah.
Do a little bit more elaborating on each one of them.
Yeah, like someone says the quote and then says this. Real communication isn't just about talking, it's about listening to the client. And then the other person goes, oh, yeah. What if you listen to,
Yeah.
and,
We'll get all that together and we'll have it more formatted and like that we know
we can do
exactly.
All that. Yeah. Do you want to continue or do you want to?
We can cut.
All right,
Let John go home. It's
Yeah.
my anniversary. I gotta go. Fucking around with you guys.
Around with you guys.
Oh!
I think we did good.
Yeah.